going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Jim Evans.
And this is Collateral Cinema with Film Rage. Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in Texas. And yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast. So whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it. Welcome to part 2 of our Lord of the Rings trilogy episode. And joining us this time is Jim from Film Rage. How's it going, man?
It is fabulous. Could not be happier. We'd be talking about one of my favorite franchises in the history of the universe.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, thanks for joining, man. This is going to be a great time. If you haven't listened to our previous episode where we talked about the first 2 films, I would definitely recommend that. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into the best film of the trilogy, and that is Return of the King. But Jim, since you weren't with us for part 1, I wanted to go ahead and give you a moment to talk about your experience with these films and with the franchise as a whole. And if you had any thoughts to share on the first 2 movies, go ahead and do so now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very happy to. So my experience with Lord of the Rings goes back to deep into my childhood when I read the book. I say book, because when I read it, it was a book, not books, plural, which now I think it only comes in books. It isn't, you can't buy the book, or maybe it's a compendium. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. But I read it when I was about 13, and then I put it down because I was reading a bunch of other stuff at that time, mostly horror at that time. And then when Ralph Bakshi put out his animated classic of the Lord of the Rings, I was a huge Bakshi fan. So it was like this, I won the lottery. Like, I follow Bakshi even now on social media. I don't follow a lot of directors, but he's one that I follow religiously. He literally, changed my vision on both visuals and what animation can be. Like, if people aren't familiar with Ralph Bakshi's work, then go watch that original animated series, go watch Fritz the Cat, go watch, there's just so much content that he's got that will blow your mind. And when you think of when it was made and what it shows, it's fucked up shit. So and the original Mighty Mouse, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that too, but I think he brought it back a little bit later in the 2000s, but in the late 80s.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, fucking Mighty Mouse smoking weed and snorting coke. It was always,
Nice.
It was always subjective. You could see it kind of happening in the background, but it's just okay, did I just see Mighty Mouse do coke? I'm just yep, that's what I did. Watching it with my kids. Yeah. So, so my experience with this franchise and this whole storyline has been very long. I didn't reread the books until the series came out. So just knowing that, just suffice to know I'm old as fuck. So it's, I don't want to say how old, but it's to know that when the originals came out, I was a grown ass adult when the original film came out. So that'll give you some. And I had kids. So.
Oh, wow. Damn. Already.
Yeah. So you can tell how old I am. So the first, I would debate you a little bit on that the third one is the best in the trilogy, and only from the fact that I try to absorb this. Like when you guys said, "Hey, let's watch it and let's talk about it," I sat down and watched the whole thing. I sat down on what was it, last Saturday, I think, and had a chance to watch it, and then I had commitments going on at the same time. So, I've seen this movie. I watch it every second year, like the trilogy. I watch it every second year. So I don't rewatch movies. There's only about 3 that I rewatch on a consistent basis. One is Dawn of the Dead, the original, which is my favorite movie of all time. One is the Lord of the Rings trilogy because of my love of fantasy in general. And the other one is my Christmas movie, which is Anna and the Apocalypse. So
nice.
So
nice. That's a good one.
No, I definitely rewatch these films often, at least once every one or 2 years, and I always watch the trilogy. That's part of the whole thing for me. I'll watch both the extended and theatrical cuts of these, but obviously, the extended edition has all of the juicy stuff.
Yeah, and then usually what I do, which I didn't have time because I have some other commitments going on right now. I screen for a film festival, and we're in the heart of burning through films right now. So I usually watch the Hobbit trilogy too. Granted, It's not as great, but I don't care. Like anything that he's written, anything that Tolkien has put his, essence into is worth seeing. His books are just fantastic. Like Game of Thrones has nothing on the Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. Like to me, it's a joke.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
To me, I kind of feel like Game of Thrones is kind of what a lot of the kids that started off on Lord of the Rings kind of graduated to as they matured and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, even though I know that those books have been around for a long time and were only recently made into Game of Thrones, it just kind of feels like that's what it's like a natural progression from Lord of the Rings to Game of Thrones for a lot of the younger audience there. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, I would totally agree with that.
Well, Game of Thrones is trying to be Lord of the Rings because of just the profound influence that this franchise and even specifically these films have had on the genre. And we went into that on our first episode. But this series would not be quite as good as it was and not as well received as it's been if not for the epic conclusion. And then that is Return of the King. Really, third films in a trilogy often have the task of the unenviable task of wrapping everything up, and a lot of times they don't always deliver, and the third film doesn't always consistent have the same level of quality to it. It's not as consistent. Lord of the Rings is one of those trilogies where the quality is consistent throughout each film. And yeah, I mean, the third film could have stood to not wrap everything up as well as it did, but it did. And you know what? God damn it. I know that there's 13 different endings to this film, and I think each and every one of them fits and is a perfect part of the film and needed to be there for the completion of each character journey.
When it was re-released with the extended and came to cinemas, and I went back to the cinema to watch it, I was like, oh my God. But I can't debate you on it because I still love watching all the endings. But we joke to this day, like if something has too many endings, it's like they fucking totally Lord of the Ring the fuck out of that movie.
Yes.
Right? It's like everybody knows it's like the biggest joke.
Yeah. Seriously. I remember when I saw this movie in the theaters. I mean, me and my brother and my friends, we went and we saw this in the theaters. And the audience reaction to every single ending that would come up here, and a lot of it was because it would just fade to black. Everybody thought that the movie was over, and then it would fade back in to, like, say the Eagles coming to pick up Sam and Frodo off of Mount Doom, and it's like, okay, and then we're getting to Aragorn's coronation, and then it's like, all right, 20 endings later, it's like, okay, it's like finally we get to the ending.
I think the way that it's edited is kind of the really only issue with that. Of course, like I said, I'll defend this movie and the length of it and the ending to this day, but I can see, like, the way that it's edited, the way that it fades out with each scene kind of lends to that, and so it does kind of feel like the movie is over. But when you sit back in retrospect and you think about each moment, you're like, well, they're all important. I mean, we can't just end with the Eagles picking up the Frodo and Sam from Mordor. There's more story to be told. We've got to see Aragorn's coronation. I mean, it's the fucking title of the movie, The Return of the King, right?
We have to see him knighted, or
exactly,
kinged,
we have to see the hobbits return to the Shire because they reference it so frequently. Do you remember what it's like to go back and, do you remember what the Shire's like, and it's constantly referenced by the hobbits throughout the film. So it's important for them to go back to the Shire and to have that moment where they all kind of feel disconnected and they really don't know what to do with themselves. And then you've got to have, everybody go into the Undying Lands or specifically Frodo and Bilbo with Gandalf and the elves. And like every single one of those moments, I feel like needed to be there.
I agree.
Absolutely. That's kind of what I felt as well.
When I was watching it this time, this was the first time that I actually thought this out, and I spoke it out loud because my wife watched it with me, the third one. She didn't stay for the whole trilogy. But I'm sitting there watching it, and, like, you see them coming into the Shire, and, it's all, they're back, and how it comes. And the first thing that went to my mind, I was like, why the fuck didn't Gandalf give them the eagles to fly them fucking home? Like, they just saved the universe, and then you're gonna fucking make them walk all the way back to Hobbitville? You know what I mean? To the Shire? It's like, seriously, you got fucking flying eagles. Just fly them home, for God's sakes. Like, come on.
Or even fly Sam and Frodo at least to the edge of Mordor. At the very least, right?
Well,
Well, they healed them, right? They healed them, and they're all that is happening. They go, it's like, just okay. Here you go home.
Yeah, there's been much debate. Of course, it's practically a meme at this point. Why didn't the Eagles take Frodo and Sam to Mordor?
Yeah.
I don't know if the book addresses that or not. I haven't read the book, but I know that it's been hotly contested for years and years and years and years. I always just assumed that the Eagles weren't at their beck and call and were kind of a momentary thing, that, like, they show up when they're needed or some kind of bullshit. That's kind of the way I always saw it.
Life and death. Maybe it's life and death. That's the only way that you can explain it.
Like, they step in when they choose to. And that's what I thought.
I mean, the four of them could.
Yeah, they're pretty much like MacGuffins.
Yeah. Well, and they're creatures with their own independent wills, I'm assuming. So, I don't know. I don't think they're just like pets or something. But I don't know. I don't know the lore. But I always just kind of assumed, they come whenever the fuck they want to come. And they decided to come one time to get Gandalf and take him out of Isengard. And they decided to come later to pick up Frodo and Sam for Mordor.
Yeah. Anyway, it just made me laugh because I was just like, I'd never thought that before. I just thought, you know what? They did the journey there. They probably got loaded up with, weed and and smoked ham and shit like that, and just went, just take our time getting back.
Yeah.
Isn't there a deleted scene that's added into the extended scene where Merry and Pippin smoke a bunch of weed before Merry tries to take a look at the Palantir?
Pretty much,
where they just get really baked, and they're just. I mean,
that is essentially.
Why not have that in the actual cut?
See, I don't think the movie. Know, right? I think we know it's weed, but it's supposed to be like just tobacco leaf. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think that's what was intended for it.
I think that's what Tolkien intended too. But I like to headcanon that it's weed because, I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, those two.
He's like,
if anyone smokes weed in Middle Earth, it's those two.
The halfling's leaf weakens your mind, you know? It's like, you know, come on, man. Tobacco ain't do that.
Yeah, what else do you think they actually grow in the Shire? I mean, come on now.
Seriously.
Other than the orchards that they have there.
I mean, come on. Those hobbits, I mean, they're chill as fuck. Then they don't give a shit about the rest of the world. The Shire is, in a way, kind of disconnected from the rest of the world. And I think by Peter Jackson omitting yet another ending from the movie, which would have been the Scour of the Shire chapter, I think by omitting that, he actually kind of conveyed the sense that the Shire was, it's like when they come back to it, it feels like it's disconnected from everything that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like it is. It's the whole, like they wouldn't even have had a clue what the fuck was going on. Like the Shire folk just would have been like, whatever. I don't, they never see anything. Like nobody goes there. They, you know, every once in a while they see some elves walking by on the road. It's like, but you know, that's one of the things too, like the book, like without going in too much into the book so much, but just because I think Jackson did such a great job with his interpretation of this. But, you know, they bring it up a couple of times about how the hobbits, like, or, you know, when are we going to have elevensies or, you know, supper or, you know, when they talk about it. But that is the thing about the hobbits. They eat breakfast all the time. They eat all the time. It's part of a big thing in the book. Right. So the fact that they're so yeah, it goes to make, I mean, again, you and I would absolutely think that, but
yeah. But yeah, in fact, you know, when we get that scene of you know, the company, the four hobbits, Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin coming back to the Shire, you know, we get that moment of them where they've actually really changed and they do feel disconnected from this disconnected world around them, because it's like they've been through some shit and they're sitting there in silence. You know, they're not as merry as they were before. And but then we get a great character moment for Sam, and I got to say, Sean Astin is the standout performance in this film, but not least of which because this is what he ends with. He's sitting there and he's like, you know, he's looking at Rosie Cotton and he's like, nah, man, like I've been on this quest for the fate of the world. I've stared death at the face. Like, nah, I'm going for it. Homie stands up and just approaches that woman, and then it cuts to them getting married.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for him, honestly. Rosie is perfect for old Samwise, man. Like, seriously.
Dude. But seriously.
Oh, yeah, totally.
The goat. Samwise Gamgee, if you weren't a fan of him in the past two films, you are now, because he was the real hero here. I mean, man, does Sean Astin really, really stand out in this movie?
Yeah, I think, you know, I like Sean Astin at the best of times, but, you know, I again, I'm going to have to debate you on this one because I just think Elijah Wood is the greatest, creepiest actor that's ever lived. Like, I have a list of what I call them my creep crushes, and he is number one on my creep crush list. Like, closely followed by Crispin Glover. So it's like he is just so fucking creepy, and for him, like as his story progresses, by the time we get to this third part, it's like he is total Elijah Wood. Like he's in his element.
Yeah. He is. Although
definitely.
I do feel like this is the film where his biggest detractors are going to have more to complain about, and as far as his performance, and I've seen it from my own family. I've seen it from people. I don't agree with that. I love Frodo the whole way, and I definitely empathize with his journey. But I feel like a lot of people just felt that it was what took away from it was how he's not a conventional hero. He doesn't tend to solve problems by himself, and you know, just the ring corrupting him even more and more and more in this movie is like, it's like that increased to like its absolute most, I guess. And he has these moments where he's kind of just standing there, and then of course, you know, he does actually, you know, turn into its dark influence. Now I find that engaging personally. I feel like that works, and that's what I love about him. But
honestly, that's what I really love about Elijah Wood's performance in this particular movie, is that he starts to actually become a little more sinister as he gets closer to Mordor and everything. It's like he really gives you a sense of that ring really corrupting him and really starting to kind of weigh down on him. Like, especially in that moment, whenever he wakes up and Sam has the ring and is trying to give it to him, but there's that moment of hesitation, but I mean, you could just see it on Elijah Wood's face. It's just like, oh man, it's fucking with him, you know. So, and he's just like, no, this is not a burden for you to have. You know, this is my burden. So it's like you don't need to corrupt yourself like that.
But it's an addiction for him, and it's a thing that brings him down that Sam doesn't understand. It puts him at odds with Sam, and actually he finds a sort of kinship with Smeagol in that, and that's where the film, you know, starts to pull away at their brotherhood, and, you know, their friendship, and you know, there's that soul crushing moment where he tells Sam that he can't come, and you know, Howard Shore's music just intensifies it to the nth degree, and you're just like, man, you feel so sad to see Sam there just by himself, you know, having to watch his friend, you know, get killed essentially.
Yeah, there's so many layers to that whole ending to the story, right? Like when you think of Frodo, like I don't know how many fucking months it took them to get to Mordor from the original. Like I don't think they even tell us in the books, but it's not a short period of time. And when you see the flashback of Gollum when he finds the ring, like it's instantaneously. He went from, this is my best friend, I'm going fishing, to murdering the fucking guy for the ring.
That away.
Second. Yeah, he's just like, okay, this shiny precious. Like Frodo's journey to where he's got to, like I still, granted, we don't fully know what's inside Frodo's mind for all three of these movies until we get to Mordor, right? Like he had every, you know, his goal, I got to get to Mordor. He says, I'm on a hamster wheel. I'm getting to Mordor. And then, you know, as he's about to throw the fucking thing, and he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it.
The ring is mine.
And then the ring is mine. Yeah. And you're just like, okay, what the hell happened? Like, how was he able to stave off so much evil for so long? Like, because at any point in the movie, if you think about it, like him and Sam, you know, Gollum kind of sneaks his way in there, and, you know, they're buddies and traveling the three-way. But you think about it and you think, at any point in that journey, Frodo could have just went, fuck this shit, I got my ring, I'm out of here. Yeah. Right? Like, so for him to carry that evil with him for as long as he did, and you just think to yourself, okay, like there's something special, there's something different, and they allude to it all the way through the movies. Is that number one is that there's a reason why Gollum's still in the story. They talk about it. There's like, he still has some reason for it. If Gollum isn't there, Frodo's gone. Sam's too dumb to even look at the ground to see his foot's walking away. Gollum's the one that figures that shit out, right? So, like, you think of how the movie ends and all of the layers that happens in that one scene that's like 5 minutes, and you're just like, like your head's just like exploding with thinking, yeah, you know what? It's a good thing they didn't kill Gollum. And then it's like, you can see why Sam came back, and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. And like everything, it just all comes to this head.
It does,
you know? Like, okay.
Yeah, and even Gandalf foreshadows it. You know, he says in the first movie, you know, Gollum may have a part to play. He does. If Gollum wasn't there, the ring wouldn't have been destroyed, arguably. It was the perfect, you know,
honestly,
you know, sequence of events.
And it also, like, Gollum killed himself ultimately. Yeah. He preferred the ring over life.
Yeah. Well, that's why my personal headcanon on that is that the closer that the ring gets to Mount Doom, to where it was actually forged, it just becomes amplified to the point that, you know, finally Frodo is corrupted, and it honestly makes Smeagol even go more insane than he was previously. You know, I mean, it just seems to kind of amplify, and it just kind of creates this sequence where fittingly both Gollum and Frodo go over the cliff, like a Gollum to his death, which I think is very fitting that he is the one that goes down with the ring. You know, it's very fitting, but also fitting to kind of give you that fake out that Frodo, you know, ultimately succumbed to the evil and fell in with him, you know, but no, he's still grabbing on. He still has some humanity. It's like, I mean, I like to think that when Gollum bit off his finger, that just kind of snapped him back to his senses a little bit. He's just like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to me how that was framed and how that was sequenced and everything. It's like, yeah, you really do have that moment of despair where where Frodo is looking as evil as he ever has in this entire movie, and he is like fully corrupted. But strangely enough, it takes Smeagol attacking him to kind of knock him out of that, you know, and to kind of make him regain who he was.
Yeah,
he got bitch slapped by Smeagol.
But we have that moment that even mirrors,
pretty much,
you know, Isildur and Elrond at the beginning of the first film, and it you know, it's even framed the same way and everything. So it's like this whole thing coming to a head, and you know, Frodo, who has resisted the ring's influence up to this point, finally gives in. But I mean, Jim, I think you were right. You know, you have to also consider, and I feel like this not talked enough about, is how much, you know, how long he held the ring and it didn't corrupt him. And whereas, you know, we saw Smeagol turn in an instant. We saw Boromir, you know, instantly want to grab it from Frodo and go through what he went through, but then end out, you know, a hero. And even Sam, I think, has some hesitancy giving the ring back. Sam, of all people, who you might think would probably be less susceptible to the ring's influence. I think hobbits in general are supposed to be less susceptible. Not Smeagol, obviously. Fucking murders his friend or family member or whatever. They're called Smeagol and Deagol, so I assume they're related. Brothers? I don't know.
They must be.
Maybe it was his twin.
Yeah.
Maybe his twin.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, who else names their kids the same, like similar names? But I'm sure that's answered in the appendices. I like how the film opens up with that. And for some people, it might feel out of nowhere, but it's important. It sets up a character journey for Gollum, something that was hinted at previously, but we, you know, kind of got to see the whole origins. And it just opens up with this flashback that again reads like it's just written out of one of the appendices that Tolkien wrote.
Yeah, but it also kind of mirrors what almost happens between Sam and Frodo as well, you know, over the ring. Except, you know, it obviously doesn't lead to murder because they just have a stronger countenance. You know, even for hobbits, both of them have a strong enough countenance to counter the ring's effects. But I mean, you can kind of see why Peter Jackson kind of included that at the beginning of the movie. It's a framing device to kind of compare to what happens to Sam and Frodo, you know, at Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it is. I don't know if I necessarily agree with you that it's comparison, but I think I do like that it bookends it a little bit with that because it shows the real difference between the two of them.
Yeah, maybe that's the correct term I'm looking for, is bookended. Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. Because I don't think, you know.
Because at no point in the movie do you feel that Frodo is malicious in any way. Like even when he has the ring, it's like he's just focused on the precious. He's not like, I'm going to murder somebody for this ring, other than, you know, Gollum and him wrestle, but that's just for the ring.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it is interesting how Frodo, all the way along, it's like every single person, even Merry and Pippin are tested like that. This is the thing about these movies. Every single person is tested all the way along of this, because you think of he offers the ring to Gollum Gandalf at the beginning, and then he offers it to Aragorn at one point. He says, "I can't take it." Right? Sam had it, and he's perfectly, you know, I'm going to give it to you. And Merry and Pippin with the giant eyeball bowling ball thing tested there too, right? Like, so every single character as they're gone through it is tested in a way, and it really does have you think that, okay, us being humans, of course, because, you know, we're the ones that live on technically Middle Earth now, right? It's like we were the ones that are literally the worst of all of them. Right? Other than the orcs and goblins and shit, right? Like the evil creatures, but of all the sentient type, beings, like humans are the absolute worst of all of them. We're the only ones that survive. So what message is that telling us?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? I mean,
but entering the age of man at the end of the movie.
Yeah, the age of man. Oh boy. But even so, it's a war that tests all that are involved. The entire fellowship gets character development, including the hobbits, including Merry and Pippin, who I think go through the most development in this film alone. Being separated for the first time. You've got Pippin going to Minas Tirith in the service of Denethor, and you've got Merry, back in Rohan, trying to get in on the battle as they travel to Minas Tirith. And then, they've never been apart before, and now they're separate. And both go through their own struggles and heroic journeys.
And they become straight up warriors too, man. I mean, by the end of the movie, they're hacking and slashing people just like Gimli and Legolas at that point. So yeah.
You got Pippin in Gondor armor, and you've got Merry and Rohan armor, and they both get involved in the fight, and it is really interesting to see them in that position. I mean, and while we're on the topic of Denethor, man, fuck that guy.
Yeah, screw Denethor. What the fuck?
Played by John Noble, so detestably. I mean, it's a great performance. He's just such a detestable character. Even the way this dude fucking eats disgusts you.
Oh God,
that's what I was about to say. Oh my God,
yeah,
it's so enraging,
Yes,
especially when he's like just throwing shit just on his plate and everything, and like greedily. It's like, God damn it! It's like that's juxtaposed with all the soldiers going into battle and everything. He's just sitting there stuffing his face. It's like,
Oh, but dear God,
very frustrating.
Billy Boyd singing over that scene. Oh my God, it's so good.
Beautiful.
Oh, totally.
It's nice to hear un-auto-tuned vocals for a change. That's back before that was very prevalent. You actually had to have character to your voice to be a good singer back then.
Yeah, no kidding.
I turn music off if it's got auto-tune on it. It's like you are not a singer. You should not have a microphone if you've got to use auto-tune. I'm sorry. But talk about the most rewarding death in the entire movie. Like, sure, we kill Sauron. Yeah, Saruman gets killed. Yeah, whatever. When he fucking lights on fire and he's it's like yes, burn, motherfucker, burn.
Oh yeah, no, dude gets one of the most like dramatic deaths in cinema history. Dude just straight up jumps off a cliff, runs off a cliff on fire. But it's like earned. I mean, when Gandalf beats him up, beats the fuck out of him earlier on in the film, you're like, yeah, but he doesn't get his just desserts yet. No, he's trying to burn his son Faramir, who he just suddenly has some sort of love for, and thinks that he's dead, and is refusing to even listen to other people. He's just been driven mad by grief, and they're trying to tell him your son's alive, dude, and he tries to burn himself alive, and then yeah. You're like, you know what? Nah, fuck that guy.
He just lost his rocker. Yeah, screw him. Yeah, no, very, very, very deserved.
Yeah, and even earlier on in the film, when he refuses to signal for Rohan to help, why the fuck would you not ask for help? I mean, hey, maybe they won't answer, but at least ask for help. But you know what? Pippin and Gandalf sneak out and create one of the most iconic, landscape cinematography shots that I've ever seen.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Absolutely. It also got a Family Guy joke using the beacons and everything, So yeah, it's that kind of iconic.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good
totally.
scene. But yeah, just I'm watching it right now actually on screen. It's funny that I brought it up now because
Nice.
yeah, it's like just the way that we have these like wide panning shots, and then we just kind of see them all light on fire with a little bit of a delay between them across the landscape, and the music and everything. It's so cool. And then you got Aragorn there who's just sitting there, waiting for something to happen, and then he just fucking books it, and he runs into the hall and he's like, Gondor requests aid. Gondor requests aid. There's a pause. And then Theoden, who really steps into it in this movie, Theoden comes out and he's like, and Rohan will answer.
Hell yeah, man.
I think
Love
that's rewarding that he gets married too at the end, right? Like, it's like, through the movie, I was like, I don't know if that developed well enough that you think they were going to get down and dirty, but then it's like, yeah, they're perfectly made for each other. Like, it's kind of good that he finds his place and his love. So
Yeah,
that was rewarding.
definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, every single character just goes through a journey, and it all has to get addressed, and it all gets put to the test. And this film feels like a conclusion to a trilogy all throughout. It's permeating the entire film. It's like it was one of those first like big blockbuster experiences I remember happening of watching the end to a film series and feeling that finality, that we would later get watching, the Harry Potter movies or Twilight or any of these other novels that get adapted to the big screen.
Yeah. When you really think about it, I mean, this is kind of the trilogy that helped set the modern cinemascape as we know it, as far as like going and seeing movies and everything. This is kind of was like the first wave of that when you really get down to it. Like you brought up Harry Potter. That was kind of the next thing that did that same thing.
Yeah.
Also, the Saw franchise kind of picked up on that and kind of went its own way with that type of framing and everything. But it's like, yeah, when you really think about it, this trilogy and especially this movie, like other than Star Wars, it really kind of set a momentum just how things worked out in cinema and in Hollywood up to this point. Like especially with how blockbuster movie culture has become, and how we approach going to movies, more or less as an event, especially in the post-COVID era, so it's kind of interesting to kind of see this trilogy as kind of the starting point for that a little bit, in a modern sense.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's such a cinematic experience, and it's an experience that I'm glad that I had in theaters when it first came out, and I'm glad I got to still go see again. I mean, they actually did a showing just last month of the Lord of the Rings movies, the extended editions in theaters, and that's such an awesome moment because these are the kind of films that like people come in, it's a packed audience, but like it's so serious and it's treated with reverence, and then those silent moments really hit, like for Frodo.
For Frodo.
Oh God, man! So many fucking epic scenes in this movie. Everybody just Aragorn just coming in and giving this speech that makes you think like, dude, I'd go fucking die for him if he told me that.
I was ready at that scene, man. I'm like, give me a horse and a sword. Fuck it.
Yeah, they're there literally just to buy time for Frodo. They know they're gonna die. They know that there's almost no hope, and that there's how does Gimli put it? Small chance of success. Almost certainty of death. Yeah. When do we start?
It's one of those movies too where it's like the arcs of everybody is like. They all come to this great, like they all come into themselves and they all have success.
Yeah.
Right. It's like each one of them has their moment of glory. In all realism, people could look at this with a different lens and go, oh, okay, this is stupid. Because these little hobbits would have been murdered instantly by some of these bigger orcs. But it is one of those movies. It's just like you get behind the concept that this, fellowship is gonna each have their own moment of greatness. You know what I mean?
It's an epic,
especially Eowyn's. Yeah.
It's an epic story.
Like and it is. It's a happy, even though there's one or two characters, most of them who die deserve it. But you think about every single character. Eowyn's character's probably got like the most, I don't know if we can say dramatic, but the fact that she could kick ass with the best of them, and no one has faith into her, and then she's the one that kills that fucking Witch King.
The Witch King of Angmar, dude. One of the most badass scenes in the movie. She did more for female representation, female heroes, heroines in cinema history than anyone in the MCU combined.
Honestly,
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am no man.
Seriously.
It's kind of a dumb loophole, and it makes you think, oh, okay, she's not a man. I get it. But you know what? It still is a really fucking cool moment, and it's definitely a callback. I think it's a reference to Macbeth. I know that's slightly different, but it is. I think that was definitely in mind when they wrote that scene, or when Tolkien wrote it.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It's one of those things that some of it you could look at it and be, though, this is a bit corny, but it's so great when it happens. It's just like, I've got a huge boner for her kicking some dick.
Fuck yeah. or whenever you get to see my boys, Gimli and Legolas, he's like, I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf. And what about a friend?
What about a friend?
I could do that.
Like, tears are just streaming down my face.
And gave us a great meme as well.
Yeah. Dude, I teared up when I watched this movie both times I watched it recently. I watched the extended and the theatrical cut. And I cried both times watched this movie during several scenes. That and when Aragorn looks at the hobbits and says, "My friends, you bow to no one."
Yes. I'm like bawling my eyes out. Yeah. Or when Kate Blanchett gives them all their gifts. It was just like, come on.
Mm-hmm. I know it's so good. It's so in the feels, and it was one of the first movies I remember seeing that really did that for me. That was emotional, and everything works. And those moments, when Aragorn's giving them the speech, and then he says for Frodo, it's like it gives you goosebumps. Peter Jackson's just so good at doing that, at conveying, I think, what readers were meant to feel and doing it on the big screen. And again, like I mentioned earlier, that moment, where there's the rift between Sam and Frodo, and that comes to a head. So many different scenes in this movie that really just resonate emotionally.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And to think that they felt like when you talked about how it kind of changed the cinematic world we live in with these being made, the fact that they filmed them so close together.
I know. Back to back
was another thing. Like it must have been a huge risk by the studios. Like, first off, if you look at Peter Jackson's history, the films he made before this movie, like there was nothing in his repertoire that said you can make this epic this epic trilogy. There's nothing he did that could sell. Like, how he got this sold to even make this, and for them to put that much money up to film all three films all at the same time. Like, can you imagine his pitch to the studios to do that? Like, it must have been like 3 hours long, and it must like, look, I have storyboarded this entire thing, and the extended versions are 4 hours long each, but here we'll get it down to a tight 3 hours, no worries. But the amount of filming to do, like the amount of money and filming to make these, and that, of course, it paid off, but that doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't. No, it was like lightning in a bottle. It was a series of events that.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
quite literally just happened, and I'm so glad that it worked out, because where else are you going to see something of this quality and dedication? And again, like you said, to be released 3 years in a fucking row.
Yeah, well, they filmed it. Like, the cost to film it.
Yeah.
Right away was huge. Like, they had all this money invested before they even released the first fucking movie. Like, they were into this already.
Mm-hmm. Every day Frodo moves closer to Mordor. Do we know that? What does your heart tell you?
Come, Master. Come to Smeagol.
It is time. The crownless again shall be king.
Become who you are born to be.
that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails. When we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day.
Whatever happens, stay with me.
This day we fight!
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
They will follow you into battle. You have given us hope.
There is nothing for you here, only death.
We cannot achieve victory through strength of arms.
Not for ourselves, but we can give Frodo his chance.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we're all the better off for it. I mean, like I said, I mean, this influenced the trajectory of mainstream film culture. It helped bring what was usually considered really nerdy stuff into the mainstream as well, and just brought it to a broader audience. And I'd say that this movie right here is what really solidified that. You know, this is where all of that just kind of combines, and it just becomes this this really, really amazing achievement, you know, and I'm going to say only Peter Jackson could have done this. It's like, I know you brought up his earlier works. It's like, I think that all of that was just kind of a progression that eventually just culminated in what he did with these 3 movies. It's like, I mean, he pretty much treated his old movies like film school, pretty much, and I would say that it led to it ultimately led to what we got here, you know, and it ultimately led to this, what I would say is quite possibly one of the most satisfying endings of any movie trilogy or series like ever, period. Honestly, all 30 of them.
If each and every single one of those endings doesn't have you bawling, I don't know what to tell you, because they do for me. I mean, just watching them be separated, you know, they're going to the Undying Lands and they'll never see each other again, or, you know, even that moment of relief after the Eagles take them from Mount Doom, where, you know, it's like they've got to have a moment to just rest there and laugh. And I know that scene has kind of a mimetic quality to it, but even so, like, it's so good and it hits you at the feels. There are a couple of scenes that are notable in the extended edition that I wanted to bring up, and what I think that they add to the film. Now, I think this film is the longest one with the extended cut, going up to 4 hours in length. But there are a couple scenes that I feel were kind of odd to be taken out. One of which was Saruman's death in the theatrical cut. If you watch it, Gandalf was just kind of like, he's locked in his tower, he has no power, and then he's never seen or referenced again. But
that's in the book. That's what happens.
But then he comes up
he doesn't die
in the Scouring of the Shire, right? And then
he doesn't die in the book. Like he ends up hanging out by the Shire. Like, it's a weird scenario. He gets banished out there.
Doesn't Grima kill him later in the book too, at the end or something? And I haven't read it, but that's just what I've heard.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, from what I understand,
I think you're right. Yeah.
But it happens much later. It's layered in the Scouring of the Shire chapter that Jackson omitted. And I mentioned earlier, I think that was worth it. Like, ending this film with more conflict and all this shit going on in the Shire, I think would detract from the point that Jackson wanted to make with this in his interpretation of the film. But it is odd that the Saruman death scene is cut out, because it's also a great character moment for Grima Wormtongue, who stabs him in the back and shows that he too has a part for play and sort of pays off Aragorn sparing his life back in Rohan.
Yeah.
Or Aragorn convincing Theoden to spare his life, I should say.
I think here's the reason why I think it was done originally, in the original, when it came into theatrical release, is because people at that point, like the hardcore Lord of the Rings fans, it's just like, they're so hypercritical. Like, when this movie was released, there was a lot of criticism from the hardcore Like, where's this scene and where's that scene and where is this scene, right? So I think he took that out because it's like the hardcore. He's already beaten up by that. They're at the third movie, and he'd already been beaten by the super fans so much. He's like, well, fuck it. You're not going to get. I'm not going to do what I want to do to keep the tone of the film. I would agree with you. I liked the extent. That's the one I watched too. So
Yeah.
That's what I still remember that because that's the one I've been watching ever since. And I'm happy that it's in it, but I think that's why he did it.
Yeah. It is just
Makes
odd
sense.
to think that he's just missing. But when you watch the film, you don't really think about it. It's like the film moves on. It has so much going on that you're like, okay, yeah. I don't even Saruman who? He's got fuck all to do with the plot at this point. Like Gandalf says.
I honestly barely even noticed that he wasn't there throughout the runtime of this movie. Honestly, I'm like, wait, Christopher Lee didn't show up again? It's like, huh.
It does suck though that Christopher Lee didn't get at least one more scene in the theatrical release though, because that dude was a lifelong fan of the work and a friend of Tolkien, and he really wanted to be in it, and to not even get his payoff in the third film must have been rough, especially when he filmed the scenes and expected them to be there. But what are you gonna do?
His family knows that he's in it. They got the extended cut as a box set for Christmas.
Exactly. The other scene is the Mouth of Sauron scene at the end. And I like it, actually. It's got Bruce Spence. I remember him from Legend of the Seeker. I love Bruce Spence. And he actually plays this character that sort of speaks for Sauron. And Aragorn just straight up cuts his head off. It's fucking awesome.
I saw a clip of that, and I have to say I'm actually very disappointed that that's not in the theatrical cut because, I mean, I kind of feel like Sauron needed some type of physical manifestation other than what we see in the flashback at the beginning of the first film.
Yeah.
And we got that briefly, and then he cut it out. It's like, even if it's just his mouth, I mean, that's still something that's a little more physical that, the characters can actually interact with. That isn't just, the giant, enormous eye up on the panopticon eye up on the tower and everything, So, I mean, I think that may have been kind of a misstep in this movie. I would have liked to have seen a little more of a physical representation of Sauron.
Yeah. But I mean, it's already such a long movie that I guess I can understand why Jackson had to cut so much out. But I definitely prefer the extended cut on this for those two scenes because I do feel like they add to the plot. I feel like they add more weight to things. I mean, you can kind of forget about Saruman, but the Mouth of Sauron thing was cool, and it even gives a cool character moment for Aragorn and the rest of the army where they have to grapple with the fact that they might be throwing their lives away for someone who's actually already died. Aragorn refuses to believe it, but there's that moment where he's got to wonder, did Frodo already die? But they decide to go out in a blaze of glory anyway, and it's fucking awesome.
And Gandalf's point there too, like when I forget if it was Merry or Pippin that was going to open their big fat mouth, and Gandalf's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, if they're telling us he's dead, and Gandalf knows he wasn't dead, like, because they even had that conversation. It's like, "How do you think he's dead?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
Frodo's still going strong, baby.
What does your heart tell you? That Frodo is alive.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, because Gandalf knows his shit, man. And,
exactly.
And that, to your point about, Sauron taking human form or whatever, like, I kind of like the fact that he doesn't per se, because it's like he dies in the whatever it was hundreds of years beforehand when they cut his finger off, right? Like his body is no longer in existence because it caved in on itself. All he is an entity, which really does add more layers to the whole mythology of the series. Do you know what I mean?
I do get that too, but I mean, it's like, I still think that just even having his mouth in the theatrical cut could have added something, a little more dimension to the overall narrative somewhat,
The presence.
Even just a little bit. Even if it was just a little bit of that.
A little bit of a physical presence, I think, helps. But, I think it's good that he mostly doesn't, that he's mostly an idea. And there have been some critics of the fact that Sauron is given a physical form at all in the opening to the first one. I've seen some people speak out against that and feel that it takes away from his character because he's supposed to be kind of more of a concept than anything. But, Peter Jackson did decide to give just little bits of a physical presence to him.
Yeah,
it's kind of like from Earthbound, Gygas. It's kind of that. He's more of a concept that you end up fighting at the end of that game. So, that does track. I mean, and that is what makes Sauron one of the more imposing and iconic enemies in cinema and in literature.
Yeah.
He also, you got to remember, Sauron infects people. When Wormtongue gets punted the first time, and the king is he's channeling, he's talking to Gandalf.
Yeah,
they're communicating. It's like he possesses people, body and soul.
Yeah, he's like a force, It's like he's in the ring, and that's Sauron too, and he is the eye, and he's also this mouth.
the bowling ball eyeball
exactly.
thing, right?
He's the Palantir. But Return of the King, God, it is just such an epic conclusion. It's such a fantastic climax. Like I mentioned before, I think it does such a great job just finishing the story and leaving no stone unturned, leaving no plot thread unresolved. Everything is tied up with a bow, and it all feels earned.
Yeah, you've fallen in love with these characters. Yeah. You want them to be successful,
and even get to see the height of the scope of it, the tragedy, the tension. Watching Sam and Frodo. And this is contrasted earlier in the film where Sam mentions for the return journey, but then there's that moment where they're in Mordor and their lips are chapped as fuck, and Frodo can't remember what water sounds like and shit, and then you're like they don't believe they're going home. Their journey ends there. You feel it.
Yeah, they were ready to die there, unequivocally. And I mean, you really see that dawn on them early on. The closer they get to Mordor, the more they're just like, I don't think this is going to end well for us, even if we do throw the ring into the fires of Mordor. So, I mean, there is kind of that kind of impending dark doom over them, but ultimately they still overcome it. And I mean, that still plays into the themes of, everybody just kind of overcoming the conflicts that are thrown their way. So, I mean, and I love that it does tie up all those plot threads. It's like you kind of have to have that in this movie in order to make the other two movies really make sense when you get down to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, here's a question for you guys. Yeah. So because you had no exposure to the book or any you didn't see the Ralph Bakshi animated before you saw this original trilogy.
I have seen.
Oh, did you? Okay. So
I do remember seeing the Ralph Bakshi stuff. Yeah.
So one of the things that I often wonder with people is because if they didn't know what was going to happen in this, like when Boromir's killed, did that, to me, I think to myself, that is so pinnacle in the movie for multiple reasons. But to think about it, as you're watching this movie progress, you think to yourself, okay, this is a main character. I mean, it's Sean Bean, so he dies in every movie he makes, but pretty much. But at that point, he hadn't died in every movie. So the fact that he dies, well, then also Gandalf dies, right? So it's like you think to yourself, okay, so no one is safe, right? So how to your point about how this ties up really well. It is tied up really well because of everybody's huge wins in the end. But up until that point, at no point in there do you feel, if you don't know what's going to happen, who's he going to kill off next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And when Gandalf came back in the second one, everyone's like, what? Gandalf
I mean, they spoiled that he was coming back with all the promotional material, unfortunately, which totally ruins that like perfectly set up scene where you can't tell if it's Ian McKellen or Christopher Lee. It sounds like either one of them. That's such a good scene and such a cool reveal that unfortunately was ruined. But it was cool though, you know, because we thought that he died at the end of Fellowship of the Ring, and then to see him just show up alive again, and you're like, oh shit, you know, and that's cool. There are so many cool moments like that throughout this trilogy.
Yeah, and it's just like through to the very bitter end, you're like, okay, well, if you've never seen this movie before, you know nothing about it, sure, Frodo and Sam could die.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I fully accepted that possibility, you know, especially after Boromir's death. I mean, and just seeing how important his death was to the early parts of the journey itself and everything, you know? I mean, I think that was kind of easy to accept, you know, not having really read the book, but having seen the Ralph Bakshi one. It's like, I mean, that's easy to accept here, you know. It's a world of swords and sorcery and war and violence. I mean, it's not grimdark, but I mean, it can be grim, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think that was easy to accept, more or less.
Yeah.
You know, to answer your question.
But these moments do have weight to them. Moments like Boromir's death, Gandalf's death, you know, and everything that goes on. There was also one more scene that I wanted to talk about that was really, really cool, and I thought was fun, and it pays off really well in the final battle. And that was what was going on with the ghosts, the oath betrayers.
Oh yeah,
of men. Yeah, I mean, it has like a really kind of a horror setup whenever they go into the cave and they're surrounded by the ghosts. But I like how the tables turn. You know, as soon as Aragorn pulls out the reforged what is it, Narsil, and parries the ghost's blow. It's like, oh my God, that's such a cool moment. You know, he's like, that line was broken. It has been remade.
Well, and they it's not that they couldn't kill him. It's not that they couldn't kill him, but they're the sinks into them that, okay, if we're going to be able to move on, we should probably do this. You know what I mean? Like, they could have just killed them and say, well, fuck you, right? Yeah. But they didn't. They're like, okay, so you mean we can get out of this? We can stop being ghosts, right?
Yeah, he can release them from their curse, and he does, which is a great character moment for Aragorn, because even Gimli's like, well, I don't know, I would keep them around. They're useful, and who could blame him? I mean, look at them coming out whenever Aragorn, briefly. Gimli, and Legolas come off the ship and just aura farm before the ghosts show up and pop up out of the boats and just completely end that battle at Minas Tirith single-handedly.
Yeah, it was like, why don't you take care of Sauron while you're at it?
Yeah. Oh man, the aura farming these characters do, except it's actually natural and it's not forced. Like Zack Snyder wishes he could be Peter Jackson.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
It's funny, though, when you talk about only Peter Jackson. I still can't get over the fact that, in my opinion, I still don't see that the movies that Peter Jackson built his way up to this level of movie, who I think should have done it, would have been Guillermo del Toro. Like, when you look at Guillermo del Toro's arc in his films, and so when you heard that he was going to direct the Hobbit series, I was just like, fuck yeah. But it would have been also so good. That's what makes me so surprised of how good Peter Jackson must have done at the cell job on this.
Yeah.
Because his movie before Lord of the Rings was The Frighteners. And I wonder if when they saw, look what you did with CGI in The Frighteners, and how I have a feeling that was part of his pitch.
I don't know.
That kind of tracks, I feel.
Studios with big franchise, with big IPs like this, often make really, really strange decisions, and I always wonder, like why did Sam Raimi direct the Spider-Man trilogy? Where did that come from? Why did James Gunn direct Guardians of the Galaxy of all things with his filmography? Like I don't know what goes behind the scenes, but it's moments like these, you know, or it's like, or what did New Line Cinema see in Peter Jackson that convinced them, yes, this is the guy to do Tolkien? But he did it. He not only, you know, faithfully adapted, I feel, the essence of the source material, but even elevated it in a sense.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So,
like,
yeah.
In hindsight, Peter Jackson's the only one because we know what he can do. I just wish he didn't make King Kong. Then I would have more respect for him still.
I watched that the other day, and I liked it for at least, you know, it had those like Peter Jacksonisms to me. It's like, this is a 3-hour movie. It takes its time. Like he's one of those directors that he doesn't rush anything. I've noticed that. Like he goes at a pace and he's like, this movie is going to be 3 hours and you're going to like it.
Yeah, that didn't happen for me with King Kong.
Honestly, I can appreciate the King Kong movie that he did, mainly because he did restore some scenes that were cut out of the original movie from back in the day that is considered legendary lost media now. But I mean, he pretty much recreated the pit scene, you know, with all the insects and everything.
Oh yeah, that's a cool scene.
That was originally supposed to be in the original King Kong, but it's like, and apparently it was filmed and everything, but I guess it was a little too much for movie-going audiences at the time, so they had to cut that. And he did go ahead and restore that, and it is just as grody as you would imagine. It's like, I mean, for cinephiles, it's a fun movie. You know, because I mean, it's very reverent to the original movie, but it still tries to kind of create its own vibe and create its own approach to the story of King Kong and everything.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's not his best movie, but I mean, for what it is, I mean, I think that he did achieve what he set out for in that movie, and I can really respect that.
I agree with that, but you know, mileage will vary.
I tried to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I saw it once in the cinema, hated it so much, and I thought, well, maybe I'll give it a chance. And this was last year. I tried to rewatch it. I made like 45 minutes in. I got, this is still the worst movie that he's ever made by far.
Hey, that's fair enough, honestly.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. But one thing I feel like a lot of people just seem to acknowledge is that Lord of the Rings is a really quality film trilogy. People that like the book and even, you know, acknowledge how different the movies are from the book, you know, even seem to still acknowledge this is good stuff. This is one thing I think the Tolkien fandom kind of is sort of in agreement about. It's like, they're not perfect adaptations, but they're damn good, and it's to the point where it's like nobody ever needs to redo this story on the big screen. It you know, it's like, how could you do better than this? You know, you had some of the most perfect film casting,
the anime,
ever, and a soundtrack that is incomparable. That, you know, I think gives Howard Shore a seat at the table with, you know, John Williams and Hans Zimmer and Michael Giacchino and Danny Elfman. You know, it's like. Wow, and literally just solely off of this, honestly, puts him in that category.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just like so perfect. Now, I want to say that one thing I do like about the Tolkien fandom too, for what I've seen of it, is that it's a much better fandom than the Star Wars fandom, for instance. It's a very non-toxic fandom. Like, anytime I've even seen like a disagreement among Tolkien fans or Lord of the Rings fans, it's like civil, and they're intelligent. They argue intelligently and respectfully when they have any sort of discourse. But like even like a lot of people seem to kind of agree on a lot of things.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Plus,
that's refreshing.
Yeah,
it has nothing to compete against, really.
Yeah,
like ultimately, there's nothing to compete with it cinematically. Like, you know, we talk about Game of Thrones and comparables or whatever, but like Star Wars has Star Trek, and none shall, you know, there's Trekkies and then there's Star Warians, I guess. I don't know. It's personally, me, I'm a Trekkie. Like, and it's not because I didn't love the original series.
Yeah.
But because I also saw those in cinemas when they were released. In fact, Star Wars, the original, I saw every single day of the summer it came out.
Wow.
Every single day I went to the cinema to see it.
Wow. We're going to do the original trilogy next season for the 50th anniversary. I'm actually really excited for that. We've covered the prequels before. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek too. And I love Lord of the Rings. So I love a lot of these big movie franchises. Like, and I, honestly, like when I think about like my input on this podcast, I'm usually the guy, because Lord of the Rings was my pick. I'm usually the guy that brings like the fandom picks.
Yeah.
So,
well done.
And I feel like this is the best that fandom cinema has to offer, honestly, like genuinely.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to point out that these movies kind of came out around the same time that the Star Wars prequel trilogy came out. And it seems like this trilogy is not only a better quality than the prequels, it's also feels like it had a better cultural impact in many ways when you
honestly
think about it.
Yeah. I mean, well, just think about the lines, authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king. It's just such a better line than I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating.
Exactly.
Well, okay, so here's the major difference. You've got a writer that is Tolkien, who's an author, and then you've got George Lucas, who is really not a writer.
Yeah. That's true, because a lot of these great lines come
definitely
straight from Tolkien. I mean, even the way the characters talk, I mean, is exactly the way that they were written. In a lot of cases, there are some moments where the characters do say things. They do say words that to me sound a bit more modern, and I don't know how that falls into it. I don't know if that is in line with the way they spoke in the books or not. It's not often, but every once in a while, especially like the Hobbits, like I'm struggling to think of an example, but they'll throw a word and then I'm like, would they speak like that in a medieval setting? But I'm like, well, thingies. He says thingies at one point. Thingy.
I guess you could say that some type of adaptational decay there that just very slightly,
Yeah. I don't know exactly what that is, but I always just kind of accepted it. I was like, well, this is a another world. So, I mean, who's to say the characters have to speak exactly like they would in medieval Europe?
Well, and I don't take it that it's medieval Europe personally.
Well, it's not. It's literally another world.
It's another realm.
Yeah.
It's another realm. So,
right.
I mean, it's kind of coded Middle Ages, but I mean, it's one of those things about, fantasy settings like that. It almost always is kind of set in medieval times. And in many ways, I mean, Tolkien's kind of to blame for that. I mean, he's the one who kind of set that as the main trope and whatnot.
That's true.
I mean,
it all comes to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it all comes back to Lord of the Rings when you think about it. And honestly, that's why I think another reason why this movie works from a cultural impact is because it's coming from the pretty much the progenitor of the genre that it's set in.
Yeah.
I mean, Tolkien pretty much, I don't know if he 100% created fantasy, the fantasy genre as we know it, but he definitely codified a lot of the main tropes that kind of dictate these types of movies. If you watch other movies similar to it and everything, it kind of goes by those same Tolkien-esque tropes and whatnot. Then he's the one who kind of set those tropes, and I would like to think that that's kind of why this movie kind of comes across a little better than, like we were saying, the Star Wars prequel trilogies, and where George Lucas was kind of coming from there. So, I mean, I like to think that that's the reason for that.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, yeah, think of a single modern fantasy story that isn't derivative of Lord of the Rings. And if it's not directly derivative of Lord of the Rings, it is by proxy, because whatever did inspire it was inspired by Lord of the Rings.
Hell, look at some of the trends in anime. Even I mean, with isekais. I mean, isekais almost always has some type of token coded medieval setting.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like even the original Sword Art Online. It's like the original multiplayer game that the MMO that was set in. That was like a World of Warcraft or EverQuest style MMORPG and everything. You know, set in like a token-esque setting with elves and dwarves and sorcery and whatnot. So yeah, it really kind of just shows how Token really kind of just set all of that in motion.
Man, somebody should do it at an isekai anime series with Middle Earth. Like somebody just fucking finds himself in Middle Earth.
They
I
did
don't know.
the road.
That
the
would
road,
be terrible.
They did kind of. They did the Road to Rohirrim that came out last year, or the year before.
I watched that. It's not an isekai technically, but it is an anime film.
But it is, yeah.
And I thought it was all right. Yeah. You know, it does feel like a very by the numbers plot. It doesn't feel like it does anything like new that I haven't seen in Middle Earth. It suffers from kind of the same issues that the Hobbit movies do. And like you, Jim, I like those movies, but I mean, obviously they were always going to be compared, and they're just far less epic in scope. They really are. It's like none of the stakes are nearly as high. I mean, they're sort of trying to build up to it, and they're giving you a little bit of Sauron throughout, but it's like nothing ever like resonates quite as well as the Lord of the Rings films do. And I don't know that they needed to do 3 films to tell the Hobbit story.
No, well, the Hobbit book is like basically 150 pages.
Yeah.
So it's not very big. Like to move it into 3 movies was just.
Yeah. But I don't hate them as much as a lot of the fandom does. I mean, it is Peter Jackson directing still, and he does a good job. He works with what he's given. I don't know why he decided to stretch one short book into 3 movies.
Well,
I think he had a vision as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, you already had the animated Hobbit movie, you know. I mean that showed that you could pretty much condense that book into an hour and a half movie and still make it somewhat decent.
Hell, the Ralph Bakshi movie condenses, I think both Fellowship and Two Towers into its story, right? And then Rankin and Bass did a Return of the King movie. So, I mean, it can be done.
Which is not very well received from what I understand.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it can be done.
I haven't seen any of the animated movies,
Absolutely.
but I know that the Rankin and Bass Hobbit movie is highly regarded. And I know that the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings movie was something that apparently Peter Jackson was inspired by when he directed these films.
It's definitely one you should see. Like, especially if you're a fan, I highly recommend you see it.
Yeah.
Or buy it.
Definitely. Yeah. Especially with all that rotoscoping and everything.
Fuck yeah, I love rotoscoping.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of it in that movie.
The weed definitely pays off in Bakshi movies. So like, definitely. Watch. Definitely.
I actually have Cool World on DVD. I've been meaning to sit down and rewatch that. And that movie is not good, but also a complete mind fuck. So it could go either way.
It's awesome.
You know, depending on how high you are.
It's awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is. I think it's actually really good. I mean, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, there's the key. If you're watching Bakshi, you gotta be on the dope.
Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Well, you gotta be on that long bottom leaf. Am I right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Seriously, that halfling weed.
But all right, guys, I guess we'll go ahead and get into our final thoughts on both this film, Return of the King, and the film series as a whole. So we'll start with you, Jim. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Return of the King and the Lord of the Rings series?
We've kind of talked about it a lot. My final thoughts are like, take the time and watch the extended series. I'm really looking forward. I have a grandson, and I cannot wait till I get to sit down and watch this with him for the first time when he gets to be probably about 8 or 9, just to say, this is what your G-pop is grew up on, and see how he reacts to it, right? Like, especially without knowing anything, like seeing people go through this journey. Like the journey is, I kind of just wish it never ends. You know what I mean? Like, you know that Tolkien has done other stuff. I just kind of wish instead of Peter Jackson wanting to make movies about the Beatles that he decided he wanted to just continue making more Middle Earth films. I just love it so much. Like of all the genres of films that I'm in love with, fantasy is always, I always have a soft spot for fantasy films always.
Me too. I'm a huge fantasy and sci-fi buff. I mean, I love this stuff. I eat this up. I love otherworldly settings. Like, give me something. And yeah, fantasy's always been my thing. And Lord of the Rings actually influenced that for me, you know? Watching these films at such a young age.
Oh, yeah.
But what about you, Bo?
Honestly, I had a great time rewatching these movies. I want to say I saw all three of them. I'm trying to remember if I saw the second one in the theaters. I remember seeing the first one and the third one. I don't remember seeing Two Towers in the theaters for some reason. But honestly, rewatching this was a joy. You know, I thought that it was going to be much more of a sloth than I actually experienced here. It's like, I mean, I remember I had a joke saying that it was like a walking simulator, the movie, but no, it's not really like that at all. Now upon rewatching. It's actually got a really good flow to it. I mean, yeah, there's some editing, some wonky editing in like in Fellowship and maybe a little bit in Two Towers, but I mean, by Return of the King, by this movie, it's like most of that is alleviated. I mean, other than the stuff that was cut out that makes up the extended cut, you know, and a few things that I wish they would have left in. But honestly, I really, really like this trilogy. And I don't really say that about a lot of movie trilogies. This is like probably the only other one I'd really say that about that I really, really like is probably the original Indiana Jones trilogy. Yeah. But this one right here, yeah, it's kind of up there with Indiana Jones for me. It's like, it's very rewatchable. I mean, it has a great third movie. Much like the Jones trilogy. And yeah, it has amazing characters, like just cinematography that honestly, I don't know why it didn't win any Academy Awards. I don't even think this movie was nominated for cinematography. For all of the Academy Awards that it was nominated for and won, cinematography wasn't one of them. That's
insane.
And that's weird for me, you know, because yeah, it's like this is just really sumptuous filmmaking all in all. And I still maintain that Peter Jackson's previous movies kind of shows the path that he would take towards making these movies. You know, he is more of an auteur than some people kind of give him credit for, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, and this right here kind of solidifies that because his style is all throughout this movie. And I mean, combine that with Tolkien's writings and everything, he managed to really make a hell of an achievement by adapting these stories the way that he did, doing it all like back to back to back and releasing them back to back, you know, without even any rest. And honestly, the trilogy is seamless because of it, you know? I mean, I'm starting to think maybe I need to go ahead and watch the extended versions, which, you know, I don't mind long movies, but I mean, The Return of the King is about almost as long as, say, like Zack Snyder's Justice League, you know, not to compare the two.
and it justifies its length much more than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Definitely. So I'm definitely going to eventually go ahead and give the extended versions a try here. It's like, now that I've rewatched this series, it's like, yeah, it's got a hell of a cultural impact that, I mean, we're still feeling to this day in the modern landscape of cinema and of movie theaters and theater going and everything. And yeah. I mean, yeah, these are also very easy movies to find physical copies of. I mean, I I will say, like, if you go to like a CD exchange or a Half Price Books, it's like the four series that you're going to see a lot of are Harry Potter, Saw, Fast and Furious, and Star Wars to a degree, and Lord of the Rings. It's like you can find those DVDs almost anywhere.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, it's like find these movies and watch them. It's almost like required viewing for cinephiles and required ownership for collectors. You know, it's kind of a requirement that you have these movies. So yeah, I say go for it. This is a great trilogy.
It's definitely worth a watch, and I think everybody who loves movies should watch this trilogy at least once. And I feel like even people that like don't like Lord of the Rings, it's more of a personal thing. It's just like it's just not really my bag. I've never seen anybody like say that they disliked the direction that the films took. You know, they just it's really just the concept. It's like But like everybody seems to agree that these are well-made films, and they are. They will continue to be remembered. They're quoted and memed to this day. 25 years later, people are still making memes about Lord of the Rings. It's insane. It is just such an iconic franchise. But both Lord of the Rings and specifically this film series. And yeah, I said it before, but this Return of the King is easily my favorite of the trilogy. I feel like it is just the most cinematically tight. It doesn't really have any glaring issues. Every single second of this movie is extremely well paced and just it flies by. And there are so many good moments that give me goosebumps or make me cry or make me jump up and down in excitement to this day. And I've watched these movies dozens of times, and it's almost become a ritual for me. It's like, every year or two, I try to sit down, and I often will watch the Hobbit movies too, but I definitely will make sure to check out the Lord of the Rings extended editions. And I'll give up a whole day to watch these movies back to back, a whole 12-hour viewing. It is kind of a thing I really love to do, and it's a series that you can do that with. It's kind of hard to do something with Harry Potter, which is 8 movies, or Star Wars, which is 9 if you're doing the entire Skywalker saga. For something like this, it's 3 movies. They're long movies, and the extended versions are even longer. But it's easily doable in a single weekend day. I know a lot of people who watch these for the holidays, my family included. It's definitely something we try to put on around Christmas time, actually, very often. But I grew up on these.
Yeah, it's funny,
and I love these as much as I did. I love them as much as I love them now as much as I did then.
That's awesome. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think that wraps it up on the Lord of the Rings episodes. So if you enjoyed this, definitely let us know. Jim, what is going on with Film Rage? Where can we find you, and what have you got coming up?
Well, Film Rage, you can find us anywhere on the socials at Film Rage YYC. And mostly I'm hanging out on Instagram, but I'm also on X and the Threads, I guess. And you can find us on our website at filmrageyyc.com, where you can find all of our content of all the movies that we have watched in our over 6 years of being in Film Rage. We haven't missed a week in 6 years. I'll try to watch every single film that's released in cinema in our city. So, there's movies we don't get in our city. Wow. We can't see those in cinema, but it's our goal to see every movie that comes out in cinema, if possible. Yeah. At least, I should say, all the English-speaking ones as much as possible. We can't fit all the Bollywoods in. We just don't have enough time in our life to fit. There's usually an average of 4 to 5 new releases that go out every week. We see those, and then there's another 4 or 5 Bollywood films. So every once in a while we'll slip a Bollywood film in there. We do like international cinema, and then we have our favorite festival coming up in Calgary. We live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and our favorite film festival is called the Calgary Underground Film Festival, which we'll be covering. Which we will try and see we see as many movies as we can see. Sometimes it's 6 movies in a day. So wow. It's just, we're hardcore cinema people. Like, we love the cinema. We don't believe in streaming things. If the movies were made to be seen on the biggest screen possible, I wish every movie was released in IMAX. It's my opinion.
Yeah. I wanted to go see The Odyssey in IMAX, but the tickets already sold out.
Damn it.
We haven't got it yet.
God damn it.
Hasn't come to Canada yet, so.
Well, it won't be out till this summer, but the tickets are already
It's already sold out?
Yeah, the tickets went on sale a year ago, and I think they sold out right away.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was something I really wanted to make sure I saw in IMAX. Like, it's like one of those movies. It's like, and like these movies, if you have a chance to go watch them that way, I mean, definitely this is something you would want to do. Like Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I could. Like because I know they just did a reshowing and I saw this at the cinema, at least the first two movies here at my local theater recently, and that was awesome. Being able to watch Lord of the Rings on the big screen, wow. I also try to catch up and watch a lot of big movie like anytime I hear about something every month that is showing up at the local theater, I'll just walk my ass over there most weekends and watch a movie or two. Such a good experience.
Hell yeah.
But for Collateral Gaming, hopefully by now we should have out our episode on Night Trap. And next we'll be doing Vandal Hearts. So go check those out. We'll also have out our year in review episode, so you can listen to that. And very soon here, I would like to do a bonus round episode talking about the 100 Line Last Defense Academy. It's a visual novel / tactical RPG that I have been spending a lot of time playing. So I'm like, I should do an episode on it. We sort of did a review of it before, but it was like a half episode. So I was like, we'll dedicate a bonus round to talking about it, because I've now completed nearly I think 80 something or 90 of the 100 endings of the game by this point. So I'm close to completing it. So I'll talk about it. Also, the Virtual Boy just came out for Nintendo Switch 2, and I got the Virtual Boy accessory. So Bo, I would next time I come down there, we're going to play some of that, and I'd love to do an episode just going over the Virtual Boy catalog that's available on Switch 2 and Switch 1.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for all the eye strain. I can't wait for the eye strain and the headaches. That's going to be fun.
It's the same technology. So yeah, they literally just brought the Virtual Boy, and they're selling it in 2026. I can't believe this is the timeline we live in, but I'm here for it, man. I've always wanted to do kind of like a niche console review thing like that, and boom, we've got an opportunity. So I'm excited for that. And
that's awesome.
Coming up. For March, we should be doing Arc finally, because we were planning on doing it back in January, but I ended up just moving it to later. But that was Megan's pick, Arc Survival Evolved / Ascended. So we'll do a 2-part episode on that. Stay tuned for that. Also check out Collateral Let's Play. We are doing Phoenix Wright Wednesday, Metroid Monday, and Shooter Saturday. You can go check that out on both the Collateral Gaming and Collateral Cinema YouTube channels. And Bo, you and I are working our way through Turnabout Samurai. We should be concluding that soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to make that little shit fucking cry on the witness stand. I can't wait, little bastard.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, Bo, what's coming up next for Collateral Cinema?
Well, by this point, we should have our Return to Silent Hill episode out, as well as our part 1 of Lord of the Rings, which we talked about, Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers. And yes, coming up soon, we're going to be doing Rocky 5. We're going to be doing that with the podcast That Wouldn't Die, as well as Derek from Hindsight Movie Reviews. So we're looking forward to that. And our season finale, which is going to be Solo, or the 120 Days of Sodom. And that's going to be with Kaylee from Once Over with Kaylee. And yeah, that's going to happen.
Bo, you could not have timed that more perfectly. I hate to say it, but with the current political climate, oh my God.
We're going to talk about that a little bit, I'd imagine. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Picking that movie with everything that's gone on this past year. Oh, wow. Bravo. Hats off to you, Bo.
It's almost on the nose, isn't it? Yeah, it's almost too on the nose, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I sense there's an inside joke for Texans or something there.
No, I mean with the Epstein files.
Oh, I just
Epstein files. Yeah.
I thought we were going to be talking about just sodomy in general. That's nothing Epstein-y. That's just daily routine up here in Canada.
No, but Solo.
Oh yeah. No. There's worse than sodomy in that movie.
Yeah. Solo is. I haven't seen it, but I know of it, and I know what's in it.
It has a great Cinema Snob episode, a classic one.
Yeah, I've seen the Cinema Snob episode
up there with his Caligula episode.
Yeah, I've seen Caligula also, and I'll be watching Solo for the first time, and we'll be talking about that. So yeah.
Yep. But yeah, look forward to that, folks.
Hell yeah. And you can find Collateral Cinema and Gaming wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube. You can help us rise up the ranks on Good Pods, or leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or feedback on your platform of choice. If you'd like to support the show, you can also buy our merch on Dashery, and we do now have a sponsorship with Dubby. Isn't that right, Bo?
Yes, we have partnered with Dubby Energy to sell their product, which is a really, really awesome energy drink. I had one right before we started this podcast. I've been drinking one at least every morning whenever I wake up. And honestly, I mean, I don't buy energy drinks anymore. It's saving me money, and it's jitter-free energy. And yeah, it's a great product. I bought that and the shaker, and it's like check out the link in the show notes and use the coupon code CCinemaPodcast to get 10% off of your first purchase. So yeah, you can definitely help us out by doing that, and help Dubby out as well. So hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, we'll link up on Collateral Gaming soon and get a deal for that too, because and I definitely want to check out that. I drink a lot of Monster. I drink like 3 Monsters a day, which I probably shouldn't. I already feel better, and it's already saving me money. Nice.
Just in the last week since I've received it. So yeah.
Fuck yeah. We do also have a Buy Me a Coffee, and we do have a Patreon where you can listen to exclusive film commentaries. We'll have a new film commentary actually finally soon just whenever we're between episodes and we have some time to release it. But it's recorded already. We did Neil Breen's Fateful Findings, and that was really fun. We haven't done a film commentary in quite some time, so pretty soon here we'll have that available to our patrons.
Yeah, and we will also have new Patreon content out at least once a month. We're going to try to go ahead and record the Disaster Artist here coming up whenever Ash comes down.
It's been a long time coming.
Next time. So yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, long time coming, definitely.
Hell yeah. But all right, I guess that is it. So with all that being said, I've been Ashley, son of Robert.
I have been Boromir, master of bow.
I am Jim of the Gimli clan.
And this was Collateral Cinema, and we are out.
Out. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.